Here's a Christmas poem from the Liverpool Daily Post and Echo by Peter Grant and Kathy Roberts. Two mice before Christmas lived under the floor, like many church mice. Oh, they were pitifully poor. Their mouse hole was patched up with matchsticks and wax, collected from candles to fill in the cracks. But Jess, oh, she loved Bimble, and Bimble loved Jess, and that's all they wished for, no more, no less. Above in the vicarage, excitement was growing, as out in the churchyard in St. Nick's, it was snowing. But Emily sat in, alone and dismayed, staring down at the floor while the others played. Her birthday bracelet was lost from her wrist, and now nothing mattered on her own Christmas list. Under the floorboards, the two mice were freezing. Bimble shivered as Jess started sneezing. "We'll creep out," said Jess, "when no one is looking, and hide by the stove while the dinner is cooking." They waited until the children were sleeping, but as Jess crept out, she heard Emily weeping. Her little mouse heart was filled with woe as she whispered to Bimble, waiting below, "We can look for that bracelet where no one can reach." But then Bimble let out a terrible screech as the vicarage cat pounced from the corner. But Bimble was just in time to warn her. The two mice fell back in their cold home again, but then Jess caught sight of a golden chain. "That's got to be it," she squeaked with delight. "We must get it to Emily by the end of tonight." Well, they puffed and blowed and heaved and hoed, while out in the churchyard it snowed and it snowed. They pushed it through a crack in the floor, then they dragged it through the kitchen door. They tiptoed past the snoring cat, curled up in the warm on the fireside mat. Then they climbed up along the stairs rail, leading each other, oh, tied by the tail, till they finally crept up to Emily's bed, and they left it on the pillow next to her head. Then Bimble and Jess made their way downstairs. Suddenly they were caught unawares. The first thing they saw was a black shiny boot, followed by another and a bright red suit. These mice had always lived below floors, but they'd heard from the children about Santa Claus. He stood for a moment, then said with a smile, "You're the kindest church mice for many a mile." And before they could even believe their eyes, he laid on a feast with Christmas mince pies. He had mittens for Jess and a hat for Bimble, and they drank mulled wine from a shiny thimble. Then Santa spoke up as they finished their drinking. "Your kindly act has got me thinking. I could do with two helpers just your size. Come and live in my sleigh, and we'll ride the skies." That's our story. No more, no less, of the mice before Christmas, Bimble and Jess.